What's up, y'all? It's FortWorthFabian, BigBossFabo. I'm back with the video for you guys, and I'm actually doing a Chilling Scares reaction. So we got here are through truly terrifying deep woods forest horror stories. These disturbing, creepy, shocking, and scary woods horror stories are from the perspective of people who've experienced terrifying things deep in the forest. Story 1 from Zachary Harrison Luke. Story 2 and 3 are anonymous. So, hey man, let me know y'all's thoughts on these in the comment section below. I don't get too much engagement on these videos, but you know, the point is to upload these to consistently build a steady base around this form of content. You know what I'm saying? I do Mr. Ballin reactions. I do the Ewu reactions. That's to explore with us criminology documentaries. So I'm trying to mix and match with that type of genre, so to speak. And a lot of people do like them. 75-25, something like that. But yeah, man, this one, let me know y'all thoughts on this one in the comment section below. I like to do Mr. Nightmare as well. So hey, if you have recommendations, put them in the comment section down below. Peace, love to everybody rocking with the channel. Check out my playlist page to see all the reactions I've done thus far and all the different forms of reactions I do on the channel. So let's get it, man. Let's get into the reaction. 3 truly terrifying deep woods forest horror stories. That's a long title. Story 1. Escape.
This happened about 2 years ago. I was out for a long walk in the woods, an activity I frequently do, especially in the summertime. On this day, I had set out early. The route I typically take is in a large woodland with many different paths that take you deeper and deeper in. This time specifically, I decided to make a bit of a change to my usual routine. I decided to walk down a bank in order to walk alongside a river. You could catch glimpses of it if you were higher up on the path, but for the most part, you could really only hear it. It was also much more remote when compared to the other paths. I had been out for 3 hours at this point. I had a book, food and drink, and a first aid kit in my bag. I had walked far and kept walking, exploring the area. However, I couldn't help but feel uncomfortable. I tried to ignore it, but it was intense. I'm usually one for the quiet outdoors and nature, but this feeling I had kept making me look behind me, to the point where I was no longer relaxed. As I got deeper into the woods, the loneliness became unnerving. I figured I was just scaring myself and tried not to play into it. That's when a cloaked figure with gloves on ran out in front of me. I instantly jumped and felt extremely alarmed. The figure had a mask on, a crow's mask. Like, think a plague doctor mask.
Hell no. If y'all don't know what's coming to mind, or if y'all don't know what he's depicting right now, man. What movie is that from? You know, like the little crow mask, the little doctor's mask with the little like goggles on it. It's got a beak on it.
I wanted to run, and everything inside me was telling me to run. But for whatever reason, I really wanted to seem like I wasn't bothered. And that the figure had failed to cause much of a reaction. So I awkwardly said,
Okay, good one. I'll be on my way now.
The figure didn't say anything. Rather, it began tilting its head as I walked around it and continued down the path. It was just standing there, watching me.
They always be doing that. Why does a scary dude in scary movies always tilt his head like this? It make you think he's like real psychotic, like real weird. Especially if they got a mask on, because you can't see their facial expression while they're doing it. They're just...
I was extremely creeped out. Once I walked past it, I just kept walking, feeling shaken, but trying not to let it show. I was nervous to look back, but eventually I did. The creepy figure was stood in the same place, still watching me walk away. He, or possibly she, gave me a wave, but not a friendly one, just a sinister one. I don't really know how to explain it, but it was slow and felt threatening. I was stupid at this point. I felt far enough away from the figure, so I flipped at the bird, a choice I instantly regretted.
The bird. No. That's the last thing you do. Even if you're trying to seem like you semi-tough or trying to avoid the situation, don't antagonize a person by flipping the bird after you've done all that to create separation, to get away from them. And while you walking away, you gonna flip the bird. That's just asking for it, bro. You made it that far. Just leave in peace, you know?
The figure went from standing and waving to a full-on unhinged run in my direction.
What's up?
I, at this point, didn't stick around and legged it out of there. The figure was making intense, loud, and almost demonic noises as it chased me. I honestly thought I was going to die. But it all came to an end when I managed to outrun this freak and made it up onto an open footpath where I was reunited with joggers and dog walkers. I was stuck in this nervous state, but still so beyond happy to see other people. I tried to make as many of them aware as I could, and the whole situation was ultimately reported. I got home safely by catching a bus into town. They were rare on that side of the county, but I managed, thankfully. I felt lucky, yet really detached and uncomfortable. The area was investigated by police, but it was so deep in the woods, I don't know how much they covered. As of yet, nothing has been reported since, and nobody nor anything has been found. I now avoid that area, and don't plan on going too far off the beaten track on my own again. I still think about this experience. It's still vivid in my mind, and absolutely terrifying to me.
As a shift worker, you can pick up shifts at local businesses that fit into your schedule. Once you're
It's kind of like you the boy who cried wolf in that story, you know what I'm saying? Because you come out the brush. Oh, there's somebody after me. Somebody chasing me. You telling everybody. They're just looking at you like, huh? Oh, okay. We believe you, son. Because, you know, they obviously probably didn't see what you saw. You know what I mean? But story number 2.
This happened years ago, when I was 21. Back then, I was good friends with a guy named Jack, who I met in high school. Both of us grew up with a passion for the outdoors, and so we thought it'd be fun to go on a week-long backpacking trip in the California woods together. We'd done this once before, and I really enjoyed it. I remember looking forward to it. The whole trip started off going well, but that only lasted till the second night. It was just starting to get dark, and Jack and I were setting up our tents for the night, when we began to hear the distant sound of leaves crunching under multiple pairs of footsteps. We were pretty deep in the forest, but running into other campers wasn't completely unheard of, just, I guess, a bit of a rare occurrence. Eventually, 3 guys came into view. They didn't really look like campers. They didn't even have backpacks or anything. I thought it was kind of weird to be wandering around the forest this late, but I didn't think much of it. They gave us a somewhat friendly greeting, and we gave one back. They then asked us if we were camping here tonight, which, obviously, we were in the process of setting up our tents and had the rest of our stuff all laid out. We politely said yeah, and asked if that was a problem.
Duh.
We wanted to make sure we weren't on someone's private property, or, just generally in a place we're not supposed to be. They replied saying no, and just kind of walked off. The whole encounter was odd, but Jack didn't think so. He pointed out how they were most likely just hunters in the area, as all of them were armed.
They weird.
Something I myself didn't notice. Cut to a few hours later, and Jack and I were now asleep in our respective tents. This was around the time I woke up to the sound.
Bro, I would have immediately moved campsites after I had encountered that. No cap. That's what I would have done. I would have moved campsites immediately. I don't care if I had completely set up camp. I would completely pack up, just relocate, because you don't really want to have people always knowing your position like that, regardless if you know of their intentions. You know what I'm saying? So obviously those gentlemen that came across the campsite know your position. Like, I would move somewhere else, head in a complete opposite direction, find another place to set up shop. You know what I'm saying? And it's possible, everybody, oh, well, it's nightfall here. It's going to be tough to set up your tent. Nah, bro, you can do that, bro. Come on. Well, what if the whole campsite's already complete? We got the fire going. Well, put it out.
Sound of yelling, like multiple voices shouting in the distance. I yelled out to Jack to see if he was awake. He was, and was just as confused as I was. It was 2 a.m. when this happened. Our conversation was then interrupted by multiple gunshots. They honestly sounded like they were getting closer. I asked Jack if he thought that whoever these people were just hunting. He responded saying,
No, dude, there's no way they're hunting this late. I think we should go.
My heart started to race,
Yeah.
now realizing the reality of the
nightfall,
situation
bro.
we were in. We both unzipped our tents, grabbed only our bare necessities, and started hastily moving west. We moved for maybe half an hour before stopping. The yelling and gunshots were now barely audible, although they were persistent, continuing off and on up until sunrise. All night, we basically just sat there listening to them, both wide awake from a mixture of fear and adrenaline. When the sun finally rose, we discussed what to do next. Ultimately, we decided we would wait until noon before heading back to our campsite. The plan was to then quickly pack up all of our stuff and make the trek back to our cars, cutting our trip 5 days short. Fast forward to noon, and we started cautiously heading back. When we arrived, the sight we were met with was nothing short of horrifying. Our campsite had been completely ransacked. Almost all of our stuff had been damaged, which this is thousands of dollars in equipment we're talking about. But most disturbing were the bullet holes shot into our tents. You don't have to be that smart to conclude that these people had genuinely tried to kill us. Further supporting this theory is the fact that nothing was actually stolen from our campsite. It was all just damaged. Though, as far as who did this, we don't know. The only people we can really pin as suspects are the 3 people that walked up to us as we were building our tents.
Duh.
But this begs the question, why? Why would they do this? The whole experience has left us with more questions than answers. Nothing about it makes much sense, but I know I myself just feel lucky to be alive. In the end, we ended up quickly salvaging all the equipment we could, and made the trek back to our cars. Nowadays, I don't camp nearly as much as I used to.
I never really been one to do a lot of camping, especially in like places it's a no place, like where it's just a foreign area. You know, maybe these public parks or whatever, these public sites to where it's just multiple people, you know, but these foreign lands and just deep in the forest and the woods, just try to be a natural nature. Come on, bro. That's where the weirdos be at, you know, and a lot of animals, you know, wild animals be out there. So it's like you just putting yourself in harm's way. But unless you just a natural marksman, a natural hunter, you know, a natural scout and know your way across lands, you know, and tracking and stuff like that. Those are the people that can live off the land just by doing anything. But like for just a weekend getaway, for a little camping and roasting marshmallows on a fire, come on, bro. You can do that anywhere. Like you don't got to go in the deep woods to do that. Like that's where you find all the mountain men.
Are you single?
Maybe
you're divorced or new in town.
They gonna
it's
get
time
you,
to
bruh.
meet your match with events and adventures. Whether you're
Like that one movie, Wrong Turn. The
I'm
hillbilly.
25, and ever since I was young, I've been into hiking. Now, I get hiking isn't all that appealing to most people, but because of where I live, it's pretty easy to get into. You don't have to travel all that far for a pretty stunning scenic view. I try to find a new trail to hike every weekend. Typically, I'll hike alone, so I always keep a knife in my backpack for protection
There
against
you
the
go.
wildlife, should it ever come to that.
Yeah.
Though, in all my years of hiking, I've never once had to actually use it. In fact, I've never run into any dangerous situation while hiking. Well, at least up until a few days ago. I was driving to a heavily forested hiking trail I'd never been to before. Now, I hike in the afternoon, and this happened around the time of year where the days were starting to get shorter. In other words, the sun was setting earlier and earlier each day. This was a key detail that I had completely forgotten about prior to leaving. Only after I started driving to the place did I realize it would be completely dark outside before I would even be able to finish my hike. A decision I still regret making is deciding to do the hike anyway.
Dummy.
I got a bad feeling about it right when I started. Fast forward a few hours, and I was now about 85% finished with the...
Don't ever be caught when you know you can't beat nightfall. Don't ever be caught. Just reconsider that day. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting caught in the night, like, or doing something that's opposed to the natural essence or ambiance of the purpose. Like, hikes are done during the day, bro. They're done in the morning times, like where you're taking advantage of the sun, not at nighttime. Like, you don't want to put yourself in a position to where you can't even see your footing, etc. Like, it's just, come on, bro. It don't even make sense.
The route I picked out. By this point, it was almost completely dark. I had a flashlight, but still, I mean, the whole scene was pretty eerie. This portion of the trail was deep in the forest. It was so dense with trees that the moonlight could barely even find its way through.
Like, look at this.
Don't get me wrong.
I'm not
beautiful
hiking
scenery
through
in the
this.
day, but alone at night, nothing short of disturbing. It was then when I was really starting to regret my decision of carrying out the hike. That's when I saw a light up ahead on the trail. As soon as I shined my flashlight in its direction, it immediately got turned off.
That's what I'm saying. I was just about to say I would have done that. Bro, if I'm seeing light ahead of me, I'm immediately turn off my flashlight. Don't give away your position. People always give away their position. You don't know who that is. You don't know what's up ahead. I'm turning off my flashlight. I'm ducking away in some bushes or behind a tree. Wait until this guy with his light passes or something like that, bro. You just got to be on point. You got to be on your P's and Q's. Don't ever give away your position. You don't be loud yelling, hey, how are you doing? Hello? Everybody in the movie's always in a dark, scary place by themselves, give away their position. Who's there? Hello? Yelling and stuff like, shut your ass off. What are you doing? Be quiet. Turn off your light, bro. Who's there? That's how they die, because you are giving away your position, bro.
I didn't know what it was, but I couldn't exactly turn back, so I was pretty much forced to go directly towards where it had been.
Dummy.
In the back of my mind, I knew the chances of it being another hiker in the dark were slim to none. Eventually, I reached where the light came from. There was no one. Instead, there was a large duffel bag lying on the ground. I began scanning the trees with my flashlight.
Yeah.
That's when a large, probably 6.5-foot man stepped out from behind one of the trees. My body completely froze up. There I stood, like a deer in headlights, shining my light on the guy. He then slowly revealed a machete from behind his back.
Jason.
Seeing this, I started running for my life, down the trail and in the direction of my car. I looked behind me, and the guy was chasing me. I dropped my backpack so I could run faster. When I finally reached a clearing in the forest and could see my car, still sprinting, I grabbed my keys from my pocket and unlocked it. I got inside, locked the doors, and had the engine on in less than 5 seconds. However, the guy was still behind me, and was able to completely slash one of my back tires before I could drive off. I drove on an almost completely flat tire for the next 5 miles back to my house. Right as I pulled into my driveway, I called the police and reported the man. Although, I have no idea if he was found. Quite frankly, I have no idea if the police even searched for him. A part of me wants to go back to retrieve my backpack, which contains hundreds of dollars in equipment. But there's no way I can bring myself to do it.
That's dumb.
Plus, there's no guarantee it's still even there. For all I know, the guy went back and took it. I still don't know what I stumbled upon that night. This was by far the scariest experience I've ever had.
That was
and the
Jason.
closest I've ever felt to death.
You stumbled across Camp Crystal Lake, my sir. You ran into Jason Voorhees. That's 3 truly terrifying deep woods forest horror stories from Chillin' Scares. Let me know y'all's thoughts on that one in the comment section below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter at FortWorthFabian. It's the road to 1 million, man. Peace, love, prosperity. Everybody rocking with the channel. Continue recommending content. What specific scary story reactions do you guys want to see? Put them in the comment section below. Peace, love, prosperity. We'll catch you guys in the next one, man. We're out. Peace.